Fraud today isn't just about shady phone calls or phishing emails. It has become smarter, faster, and powered by technology like AI. From deepfake voices that sound like your loved ones to scams that wipe out bank accounts in seconds. The threat is real and it's growing. That's why today we have with us one of the sharpest minds in the fight against fraud, Mr. Zahid Dohadwala. With over 40 years of global experience, Zahid has led high stakes forensic investigations, uncovered complex financial crimes, and trained organizations worldwide on fraud awareness. He is the managing director of HMD Associates and previously headed global forensic services at ArcelorMittal for nearly 2 decades. He is a chartered accountant, certified fraud examiner, and a renowned public speaker. Syed has made it his mission to fight corruption and protect people from being deceived. So buckle up because in the next 1 hour, we are going to expose the scams, decode the tricks, and give you the tools to protect yourself in this digital age. So first of all, a very warm welcome to you, Zahid. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation for this podcast. We are very happy to have you on our podcast.
Thanks, Rahul, for inviting me on this podcast. And I can share my knowledge and experience on this professional on the fraud, what's happening around. And let's shoot out the questions and I can answer to my ability.
Well, we have a lot of questions for you. I'll start with a very, very basic kind of a question. If if you look back 20 years back, okay, the word fraud has been there for ages. Okay, now if you look 20 years back, there were different kind of frauds that used to happen. Now, 20 years down the line, especially in the era of AI, how do you think this concept of fraud has evolved over the period of time?
The concept of fraud has completely changed as the time passed. Since last 20 years, we were discussing about check fraud and some petty fraud and something like that. Now, in this, since last 5 to 7 years, 10 years, there is artificial intelligence has come out, and with a click of the turn of the computer, they can shoot out the email like hell all over the places. For example, if the CEO, they can change the word, they can change the email of the CEO by changing that one spelling in the email address, and they can ask the CFO to transfer the millions of dollars. Recently, there was one case like that. The guy CFO, the CEO, they make an immediate this one what you call the voice over on the CEO, and they change the voice of they take the voice of CEO and
Oh,
send the voice over call to the CFO, and without taking without checking directly from the CEO, he transferred 25 million Hong Kong dollars to
oh
one
my
of the
God.
other accounts, and that's how the
Oh.
fraud take in this world now. There are a lot of frauds going on through the artificial intelligence.
Well, that's quite scary, I should say, and that reminds me of some of the messages that I was also getting from my CEO. Okay, stating that hi, this is my number. I lost my phone, and now you do this, you do that. Okay, so since our organization is quite active into it, so they told us to block it and report it. So, Zahid, just want to understand what is the biggest worry if I talk about 2025? What is the biggest worry or biggest kind of fraud that is happening and people should be very, very careful about it?
People should be very careful about the scheming, okay, scheming of
Right,
email, then voice over the phone, cloning the voice, and now the deep fake artificial intelligence also come. They can
correct,
change the video of the people concerned. They can have the
correct.
fake video of the people concerned, and they can
Wow,
send you through the through the messages or to the phone or to the email, and scam this for taking out all the monies what you got in your accounts. So this is the way they are cheating. Their fraud is taking place all over the places now.
wow. So this again is a big alarm for all of us to, check before we act upon all these, urgencies that are, created by these scamsters. Now, I just want to understand. Let us take a very, very basic scenario where I am sitting at my home, trying to, chill out with my family. Suddenly, I get a call, and the voice is of somebody who I actually recognize, and it can be my family member also. And if he requests to do something as a matter of urgency, what are the various different steps or various what you call red flags that I should have before I act upon it?
This is a very good question, because it happened to me. It happens to me as well through WhatsApp.
Oh,
What you should do it is that you should contact directly to the person concerned through your official channel, either through email or through phone, directly phone to them. That have you sent this email to me or phone to you send me the phone over there or video over there, and then act on accordingly. Because I've received one of the guy who has done the what you call the video clone on that, and
oh,
he wanted to transfer some money to one of my friend. Okay, he
oh,
got my friend on number as well. Well, I didn't transfer at all. I called my friend, and it came out that it was a fraud, completely fraud on that.
oh, oh God, right. So the remedy is we need to just stay up, stay two steps back, think over it, maybe reconfirm it, and then act upon it. Is that correct?
Yes, that's the way we have to do it. You should check another way around through the direct people concerned from whom you have received this email or whom you have received that.
Right. Now, I just want to understand one more thing. When we talk about email ID, when we talk about phone number, even my date of birth and all these things are not at all a secret now. Everything is
Yes,
available in public domain in one or the other
yes,
form. Now,
that's correct.
tell me, tell me what are the various different ways through which I can keep myself from putting all these details, or are there any websites or are there any indications that tells me, okay, this website is not safe to store my data? So how do we act upon it?
Nothing is safe in all the website. They can take all the details from any of website through the artificial intelligence software available in the market.
Right.
So the best way is to keep the your password everything intact, and when you want to transfer some money or something, go direct to the person concerned or bank concerned, and never share your OTP or have a two authorization password, which will safeguard your balance, or which will safeguard your finance, and which will safeguard your investment as well.
That's right. So many a times what happens is that, as you spoke about, two-step authentication. Okay, this is a very good way through which we can protect ourselves. But sometimes people think that it is just like you know, what do you call it, a bottleneck. I don't want to receive the passwords again and again. Why are you doing this when I am myself doing the transaction? So these kind of thoughts are there inside the mind of the people, and that's why they don't go for two-step authentication, where their phone has to be verified, their number has to be verified before they do anything on the internet. So do you what should be your answer to them when they crib about all these authentications that are there in the banking system?
You are correct, because some of the elderly people and children don't understand that. Whatever they get, they just pass through it without considering the two-way authorizations. So we have to educate them as such, because without education, we have to prevent this thing to happen in their life. So it's better to educate them, and awareness is a better way of doing that.
That's right. So awareness is very, very important, and if you know it, then you have to transfer it to your children, to your elderly parents as well.
You can discuss on a dining table, or when you are sitting together with a family, that this sort of fraud has happened, and this thing has happened during yesterday or day before yesterday or during the last month, and so people get aware of that. I also discuss with my family member on a dinner table sometime and say that this case has come out with this, so be careful about that.
Correct, correct. So even if, even if out of these, dinner table conversations, if you get, escaped from one of the scams, that is actually a fruitful discussion, right? So, as I just want to understand, there is a term called phishing. Okay, many of us have read it. Okay, we have heard it in the news. But what exactly is phishing? What are the steps these scamsters use, and how can we, have a check in our mind before we act upon all these requests?
What happened? The fraudster, they do this phishing by grabbing your authentications on email password, WhatsApp phone number, and they try to instigate you to link on that by creating the link, and then you pursue you to put a link on that, and then they take all your data from your computer or from your phone or laptop, desktop, whatever it is you are using on that. So this is a phishing which they are is very good prevalent now, but now the lot of other scam has come out on that too as well. For example, cybercrime, which is there, which
Correct,
they use in a very sophisticated way, which nobody can make out there. I know one of the cases where the email was received with the corporate house, but just telling one spelling mistake, one spelling added A
oh,
or E, and that
oh,
that name constitute the correct name, but the domain they change one alphabet, and that's how they
oh,
transfer the money from that too as well. So this is very
wow.
particular. People should be very careful about this email phishing and everywhere.
This somewhere makes me think of something called MS Outlook. Okay. So when I talk about Outlook, if there is a mail that is coming from outside, it actually gives a bar stating that this mail is not from your organization.
Uh, on the corporate level, they have got their own domain name, and when you are using this frequently, the Outlook will catch it that okay, this is the new email you got. So you should
Correct,
open your eyes and see that whether there is a fictitious email is given or
correct,
somebody is frauding you as such. So it's
correct,
very good sign for by Outlook, MS Outlook, to give a red flag that this is the email which is not in your domain, which is not concern you.
correct,
So this is very good on the part of the MS Outlook on that. So that this
correct.
safeguard our fraud in during the period or during the course of your email and that sort of things.
That's right. So somewhere, what we can see is that there are some lapses at personal level also. At a person's level also, there are some lapses. There are some things that were ignored.
Yeah, there are certain personal lapses which we do it in a hurry, which we do in a fear, or which we do in the trust. For example, if the email is received that please your account has been blocked. Okay, please link this. Please click on this link and we'll open your account. Once you
Correct,
click the link, the whole data will go off from you. Your bank account will be zero on that because they can take all your data from your laptop or your phone.
correct. So what we can say is that there is some sense of urgency that they try to create. And if you can escape that environment, that 15-20 minutes of you thinking back or maybe confirming with people, these scams can be avoided, right?
Definitely, this can be avoided because they are taking the psychology of the people concerned. Once you get the fear of that link, they press immediately on that. For example, if the WhatsApp comes to you saying that it's a fictitious WhatsApp because they have taken your numbers and they're sending you the WhatsApp on that I am so and so person, which you know is person, and he asks that I am stuck in this one of the other countries where my purse has been stolen. Please transfer this money to my this accounts. So instead of transferring, you should call him on his phone number to verify that. If you transfer the money,
Correct.
your money is gone.
True, true. That's very relevant actually to confirm, to be reassured, and to also have a what do you call, just go 2 steps behind and see the situation from as an outsider and then decide.
Yes, that is definitely the reason for that. You should be very, very careful about that. Keep your mind clear. Don't act in a panic. Don't act in
correct.
a fear. Okay. Even though you know the trust the people concerned, check twice before you transfer, before you do anything on that, on your financial transactions.
That's true. Now, Zahid, one more interesting thing that I have observed is all these free Wi-Fi networks. Okay, so when you go into maybe if you are in a mall or if you are at a a train stop or somewhere where there is a free Wi-Fi, a lot of people try to use this free Wi-Fi to actually do all these payments also. So I've seen people using the open Wi-Fi and doing their financial transactions. Now, how safe is it to use a Wi-Fi network which is not protected, which doesn't have any VPN, and like is it a good practice to do, or there is something that has to be done with it?
Never use the Wi-Fi which is free of cost, because Wi-Fi itself says that your data is not protected. So
Oh,
anybody can hack your transactions, okay, through this Wi-Fi by using it, and your whatever you're dealing with the person concerned on this Wi-Fi can be already captured and can be misused by the person who is capturing all your data or all your belonging, all your personal thing, all your date of birth, signature to whom you are contacting, family members, etc.
right, right. So we talked about phishing, we talked about identity theft, where a person is impersonating somebody else. Now, when we talk about our parents, okay, or when we talk about our children, okay, they are of that age where they cannot what do you call it, resist these urgencies. Okay, so if a child is there or if a elderly person is there, okay, he might fall prey to all these scams very, very easily. Okay, now one thing that we discussed about is to have a good conversation at the dinner table. What are the other things that we can do, or what kind of awareness that we can create so that these things can be curbed?
I think we should sit together with the parents and elderly people and tell them what can go wrong if you give OTP or any of the WhatsApp number or whatever they ask you. What can go wrong, and what will harm you as well as a family member as well. So this awareness is very, very important to the elderly and children concerned.
That's right. Now, one more interesting thing that I want to ask you is uh, about these, quick money schemes. Okay, every time you hear about all these schemes, okay, you have one crore, just transfer 1,000 into our account, we will refund you, and in within 1 month you will get 1 crore rupees. Okay, those kind of scams were quite common earlier, right? So how to, since it is as you said, it is a psychology. Okay, if it is there inside me, it becomes really difficult for me to actually be aware of it. So how these things can be what do you call it, can be curbed, or maybe we can safeguard ourselves, or maybe we can discuss with somebody before we act. How should we deal with these situations?
This sort of scam is going on very, very much, going on all over the places. Okay. So what's happening that all these investment companies or all for the investments or cryptocurrencies, they send you a lot of email every week, every 15 days, 10 days, and guaranteeing your money and investment. If you do $500, you will get $5,000 in a 1 week or 2 weeks. So
Correct,
nobody will guarantee their profit as such. So that's the first red flag in
correct,
investments. It can go down or up. And secondly, it is pressure technique by the people concerned, which are fake investing companies. They create the investment company website very clear with a lot of members over there, and they will give you a testimonial. These are all artificial intelligence created the members and
oh,
credentials.
oh,
And So you should be very, very careful. You should do a due diligence on that. Okay, check with the addresses, because nowadays they are through the artificial intelligence, they are creating the credit cards of the fictitious person as well. Identity theft. They can have
Yeah.
the credit card, credit history, members, everything, and then
Wow.
they create the investment company, and when you check it, everything is there on that. So it's very difficult to find out that. So in that way, you should be very, very careful and do the due diligence on that. Check with the other concerned government authorities site and everything, that whether they are registered properly, whether their directors are registered, whether they are going to a company worth of the millions of dollars, and why they are investing, what they are investing, and whether they are investing in the risky assets such as cryptocurrencies or share which they are not listed on the stock exchange or that sort of things.
Right. So that's very, very interesting that, we, when we try to buy something, when we try to go and buy something, we check it left, right, center. But when we are talking about investment, we somewhere forget to do the research, which is the most important part of any kind of investment.
Yes, that's completely true. What you are saying, because we are our psychology says is greedy. Let us make money now, within a week or within a month. They will give you initially 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, and once you
Right,
invoice heavily, the whole money will come and the company is closed down. So you have to search for filing the cases and that sort of thing, and the person is nowhere found because identity and everything was a fact, was fraud.
right, right. Now, let me ask you something very, very sensitive, which is, which we are actually, seeing it almost every day. We come across, especially in India, there is something called digital arrest. Now, what is happening is somehow the other people get to have the access of your phone. They have your some information which you might or you might not be ashamed of, and then they try to digitally arrest you, and then they, tell you to do whatever they want you to do. So what kind of scam is it, and can you throw some light about this digital arrest scam?
The digital arrest scam is also very prevalent nowadays. They make a fictitious uh, phone call, or fictitious this one, fictitious phone call, fictitious voice over this one, voice over phone, and they make a clone of yours voice and give a threat on that if you don't do this one, we'll arrest your computer. For example, they will close your computer, confiscate your computer, all your data is gone. Just like hacking the computer, or hacking the site, or cryptocurrency of yours, which account is there. So it's
Right,
very, very difficult for that one, digital arrest such. This is going on prevalent in all the part of the world as such. So it's very,
right,
very, very, very dangerous on that. And people come into this game because they are afraid of doing this. So they whatever the pressure is there, they come under the pressure and do whatever they want to do. For example, in the social media, if the child voice is taken or child is crying, they take the clone the voice of the child, and then they send to their parents and demanding the ransom on that. So that
correct,
is also one of the crime they are considered on that. So this is also one type of digital arrest. That if you don't pay me, your child and the parent get a panic, and they do whatever the guy told them to do that. So this is
correct.
another way of digital arrest as such. So these are fictitious arrests with fictitious panic which they create from the clone of the voice as well.
I remember that once my father also got a call from so and so police station stating that your son is in big trouble. He has done this accident and this and that. And since my father, has that know-how of all these scams, he actually contacted both of us, uh, and that's how we got saved. So I guess that is what is required when you are stuck with something, just try to reconfirm or maybe take help from people around. That seems to be a right idea, right?
Yeah, perfectly. This is the way we have to do it on that. For example, last week I received a SMS on my car saying that your car you've been done penalty on that. So please pay. You have to appear in the court, or
Oh,
you put the link on, click the link below, and pay the amount as soon as possible. Otherwise,
oh,
you have to go to the court. So I know
oh,
that this is a link, this is a scam. So I deleted completely on the SMS and never link on that. If I would have linked my on the SMS, my whole bank account detail, everything will have gone on that, because they can
right,
create, they can take the all the data in a minute or in a second through the artificial
right,
intelligence software.
right. So, Zahid, one more interesting thing that I want to ask you is a lot of people today believe in taking too many credit cards. Okay. Now, especially the new generation and the generation from which I belong to, they are more inclined towards, rotating their cards for their spends, and then at the end of the month when they have the salary, they just adjust it with it. Now, there is a risk that comes with it. When you have a lot of different cards and if it gets stolen, there can be a lot of liability that can come in terms of having a fraud with those cards. Okay, so is it a good practice to have so many cards with you, and there is always a chance of misplacement as well?
There is no harm in having a lot of credit card as such, but you should be very cautious and very particular about it. You should not lose
Right,
your password. You should be very aware of any of the transactions which are happening in your bank credit card bank accounts, and you should review your bank statement every week. So there is no
right,
fictitious entry or such. Many a bank, the multinational bank, what they do, if they feel that some transactions are fishy, they will block easily, and they will give you a call that have you made these transactions. Okay,
right,
their special fraud department will call you to find out whether this transaction is a authentic transactions, whether you incur or not. It happened to
right.
me once in a while, because I was in London, and somebody took my card number and did the transaction in US in one of
Oh,
the department store. So the because I never use the card in the US as such. I use only for restaurant and hotel as such, not for the
correct,
purchasing. So
correct,
they give me a call. I said, no, this is fictitious transactions. They block it immediately. Otherwise, your card, if you don't, if the Monzo card or some different companies have shoot up now, many companies have come out
correct,
with their own credit cards and such sort of things. If they don't give you a call, your money will be going wiping up, and there will be liability on your accounts. So you should end up paying a lot of amount on that credit cards. More thing is that because of identity theft, they can take your data, date of birth, everything on that, and they can create a multiple credit cards, and they can use your
oh,
credit card in your name. So that is
oh,
very dangerous on that. So that's
oh,
why if you, and sometimes what if they take the loan on your account as well because of
oh God,
identity theft. And then once you come to know that, it is too late for that. So that's
right.
why you should be very careful and check your bank account, everything on that.
Right. That's very interesting that, a lot of people go for all these cheaper cards, okay, saying that you won't be able to have any processing fees or something. But there are companies which are, big companies, or I should say banks. They actually have this protocol of, checks and balances. Though they might charge you something, but they might help you or prevent you from getting, defrauded. So I think that is one of the key point that we should understand is what product card is just like a product. What kind of product are we taking, and what is the quality of that product, and what are the safeguards? So that becomes a very important part, isn't it?
Yeah, it is perfectly exactly what they are doing. Even if you do the debit transactions, okay, on the online or on the phone or on your computer, they will ask you whether why you want this money to be transferred, why you want the money to be pressed. Have you purchased this? Once they are authenticated, then they will say, okay, now it's your responsibility. We have reminded you that this is the transaction which you are doing and which you already know it. So that's how they give you a red flag on that too as well on each
Correct.
transaction. This is happening to the multinational bank. When you do with a multinational bank transaction, they will give you all the hints on that, whether these fictitious or whether you
Correct.
committed this transaction, whether you are aware of this person name, payee name, and that sort of things.
That's true. That's true. So all these messages that banks send you, okay, it is not to irritate you, it is not to bother you, but to help you in
Exactly,
case if you have not done those transactions.
perfectly. That's how the bank help you on that too as well. Because ultimately, bank pays without checking on that is a bank responsibility, and they will anybody can claim on that. It happened to me 2 months back when I booked the airline tickets, okay,
Okay.
through credit card, and the flight got delayed. Flight got cancelled because of the war between Israel and Iran. I wanted to
Right,
go to
right,
the Middle East, so all the flight
right.
was cancelled, and I could not go to my destinations. The
Oh,
airline sent me the message that flight has been cancelled. Okay, now I bought the ticket from one of the agent, and the agent refused to give me a refund on that,
oh,
and they wanted to pocket the money as such. So I
right, right.
went to my credit card company and give all the reason, all the supporting document, and they blocked the payments. So that's
Wow.
how we can do that, because some of the agents, they are fictitious as well. So you should be
Right,
very
right. Correct.
careful about that.
Yeah, that's quite insightful of you to
Yeah.
bring those all these real life experiences. So yes, when you are dealing with a bank which is reputed, which has its own checks and balances, it is always good to go with those banks as far as the banking is concerned, or as far as the buying the card or any kind of transactions are concerned. So Zaid, we have talked a lot about what kind of scams are there. Now let us understand having a good habit, okay, having some good habits which can prevent us from falling prey to all these frauds. So what are the three habits that we can develop so that we can be away from these kind of frauds?
Any transaction, anything you get it, don't get panic. Don't act in fear. Take your time, 30 seconds, 1 minute to understand what you're asking for it. So that's
Correct.
how you get mind working on that. Go deep into
Right.
transactions. See that whose email is coming, why they want to money to be transferred, or what is this account for. Okay, so don't get panic and don't get fear. Don't get act in a fear that okay, my block. I have to. Somebody has blocked my account, so I have to clear my account. So
Correct.
don't get panic on that. Secondly, don't give your any of your detail or banking detail or any of your personal data to anyone other than the one which is the creditable institute who are asking for it.
Correct.
Okay, and always use two-way authorization password. That's the main thing.
Right. Right.
And be careful of reading the newspaper and aware of the fraud which is coming out on a day-to-day basis with different type of fraud is coming out. So you should be
Right.
very, very aware of this type of fraud as well. Read the newspaper. And thirdly is report immediately to the institute or
That's
to
right.
the crime cell or to the fraud investigation department of the nation. So they can aware of it, then they can take care of that.
It was quite insightful discussion. We got to know about what kind of different scams that are there, what tricks are used, and how can how we can prevent ourselves from falling prey to it. So it was a wonderful discussion, I should say. It was quite fruitful. Thank you very much for coming on to this podcast, sharing your insights, the tons of experience that you have.
Thanks for inviting me, Rahul. And it was my privilege to give you this podcast and to make aware of the fraud and share my experience throughout my life on that. So it was good to share my experience and knowledge. And that's how I put my video also for fraud prevention awareness to enhance the knowledge of the people concerned. Thanks. Thanks for having me once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks.